Yes, welcome to the show, where we reclaim our right to, you know, have an adult conversation. Of course, I understand it's going to be slow at first, so I'm going to be working intermittently, but, you know, may get into the fact of the matter. What about am I the only one who looks at the current state of affairs and thinks this shit doesn't make any sense? Like, I'm finding it very hard to believe what I see on the news more than ever. But that's not what I want to talk about. I should have put the yeah. So the question I would ask is like, if you could change, what would it be? What there's got to be one thing that men and what would it be? What there's got to be one thing that men and women, as a man, I think about women and what I would change if I could get women to listen to me. You know, I would. One thing I would change about women would for sure be just you don't have to cut to the quick so fast on a man. Just because a man has a quick so fast on a man, just because a man has a different opinion does not, you don't have to call his manhood into question. That's really like, I see that a lot, but I know there's a million things that women would say about men. That's really like, I see that a lot, but I know there's a million things that women would say about men. And tonight I want to get to the bottom of just like, I want to see, is it like a club that women kind of get together and like decide these things about men? Because I find that men really, we are very much passive. We understand you've got the keys to the world. We love our women. We don't group you all together. We don't say all women, do we? I don't think that we do. I think men on the bright side of the conversation, we very much cut women a lot of slack. But do we cut too much slack? I'm not saying I'm not advocating to attack women. What I'm advocating for is a tonight's discussion. I'd like to get some men and women on this panel, and I want to hash it out. I want to get to the bottom. Get up here and tell me what you think about tell me what you think about women. Tell me what you think about men. Let's hash it out. Let's I for one don't believe that I've never looked at a woman and said, I want to date her because of her race. I know that. I guarantee you, I date a woman based on her heart and soul. That's what I'm looking for. I don't believe a lot of the stigmas that's going around. I, I mean, women, get up here. Women, get up here and tell me what you think about your choice with men. Does money matter? Let's talk. And say sex, for crying out loud. This is a free country. If you get up here and say smex, I swear I'm dropping you. I want to hear real stories. I want to hear about, and it does say viewer plus 18. That's fair enough. That's what I wanted. It says that up in the top of the corner. So if you're under 18, look, we say sex in here, sex, 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 sex. I don't want anybody confused. Okay, this is an adult chat. You know, save yourself for marriage and get the fuck out of the chat room, because otherwise, if you're over 18, let's hear it. What can men do better for the ladies? Why are we facing this turmoil? There's not enough getting along. The birth rate is decreasing. We've got to figure this out. We got to understand each other a little bit here. I don't subscribe to anything that I'm seeing as far as, look, she's either somebody I want to date or not. I don't care. I don't care about her history, about her money. Obviously, you want to care about, like, I don't want to date a woman who's going to break my heart, who's much older. I don't want to, I'm not trying to date a grandmother, for crying out loud, because look, I like to get down and have some sex. I mean, Granny can't handle what Old Eternal's coming with. That I'm bringing that heat. So, I judge a little bit on the age, sure. Religion, I think, is a big one. Yeah, I don't want to lie to the poor girl. I mean, I'm doing devil's magic, right? So the hell with it. Let's be honest. And come up here and let's see what's your deal. What you got a relationship? Let's talk about it. Let's find out who's to blame. You're having a bad beef with your husband or your wife? Let's hear about it. Let's see what you got, man. Who's wrong? Who's right? Let's get to the bottom of it, bro. We've got a nation of people that don't want to say smack. They smacks. Oh God, smacks. It's smacks. Buddy, you're 35 years old. It's okay. You can say sex. You can say it. It feels good to say sex. Okay. Come on, gang. Let's just get over it right now. Let's not pretend that. Let's not pretend that Easy's wrong here, because I'm very right. We say sex, we don't say smex. If I swear, I wonder, do they say, like, they're like, well, are we gonna have smex tonight? You're like talking in TikTok fucking fashion. You're like hitting on your girl, like, okay, let's get the smex. Oh, I mean the what? But like you just low key asked if you could have smex with your wife, and it's on a fucking phone conversation. TikTok's watching from the sky. We got him zeroed in, boss. I think we got he's been saying sex all night long. Get him. Just zap him out of here. You get teleported back to the fucking where's that? Where's the what's that place in Russia? What do they call that? God, that's behind the Iron Curtain. What's the name of it? God, what's the name of the place? Is Putin's desk? Oh my God, I've had that's a good thing. I had Russia on the brain. I married a Russian woman, unfortunately. No, it was a great union. It just that damn COVID tore us apart. But God, what was the name? What's the name of anyways? Yeah. So what do you do when you're kind of with a woman, right? And you've been together for a long time. You're going to have disagreements. The divorce rate's so high. Is the grass ever greener on the other side? Like, we used to have these horses. I'd see them out in the field, and it's like they'd frequently get their neck stuck between the fence, and it'd be like tearing at them, and they're just this poor beast is just trying his best to break free, and it's like all he wanted was that green grass. but the grass wasn't obtainable. Like, why get married? Why the heck get married anymore if you don't want to work things out? You know what I'm saying? And then, honestly, here's the fact that not a lot of people want to talk about. Once you get remarried, your percentage to stay married drops dramatically. Like the third marriage, the third marriage is always like, oh yeah, third time's the charm. No, see, if you had stuck with that first marriage, you would have figured out what the problem was. Because I guarantee you, no issue that you're having with your spouse is unless it's cheating. But I commend anybody who wants. There's a lot of people that stay together after that kind of thing. And I don't want to talk bad about. That's just me. A lot of people are okay with moving on from that, and God, that's what it takes. That's the heart. That's what. Because let me tell you, anybody who says, "Hey, we got a perfect union. We never have any problems," you're lying. You're lying through your teeth. Everyone has it. The thing that they don't do, that our grandparents didn't do, they didn't tell everybody what happened. They kept it, they got over it. They kept that union together. They kept it secret to themselves because that's where it belonged. And no one knew the wiser, and they raised generations. Look, you know what, when you get up in the morning, you think about your spouse. If you've got a spouse, I guarantee you the first thought on your mind is your spouse, the person you're lying next to, or the person, that got up early and went out. And, if you live in, I always picture people, out in the Midwest, the farmer's getting up and he's making that money. The businessman in New York, he's up on the phone, the businesswoman, the lawyer. But you know what? So where do you find this perfect person and then find the fault in them? Where's it at? Let's hash it out. We say sex, we say sex late night show. And on that note, I want to dig a little deeper in until we get to the bottom of this pose. We're never going to answer this question, between men and women. What's the difference? We know that. We'd like to try, but let me get to the bottom of the night right now. Let me just start it off, like, throw out the fastball. Since we know what biggest issue in America right now, there is an issue going on between people of different races in this country right now. And that seems to be the main focus on TikTok a lot of the time. Different people of different origins, and everybody's trying to find a place and trying to exist together. And we're forever starting a new excuse me, we're forever starting a new vision in America. We're forever trying to make it work. If you went to work today and you have a job, God bless you. Thank you. You are what makes this country work. I accept you completely. I do not want to see your invitation card because we're all immigrants. I don't even know. I can't, because the thing is a long time ago, the continents were drifting around. There wasn't just one Pangea. There wasn't just one supercontinent. There was Rodinia. There was Colombia. There was several supercontinents. So, Africa was mixed in with all these, and we know this today because, the Appalachian Mountains they're the same rock formations and the same mountains that are in West Africa. So we know, and you look at them, they fit perfectly together. It's like a puzzle. So we obviously know that it's just a map dot that we've named where they found the fossils of the first humans, and we don't really know a lot, of the rest of the story. We do know that the newer generations have gotten lighter, and you know, like you know, we've just got that on our knowledge, our know-how, skill. So it doesn't really matter where it all began because it was all mixed up in the first place. So at some point or other, you know, we men and women start putting on clothes and they start to build this society. Um, well, Leviticus, that's a chapter in the Bible, as many of you know, and that goes into depth of how to clean yourself, how to it pretty much gives us the way of the future. You know, what is it going to be like 100,000 years? You know, whatever. We haven't been around that long, but so we start to form this separation, you know, between the species. We start to really at that point say this is this. These are our family members. These are our outside family members. And so at that point, men and women are really starting to, you know, and we can't really talk about the past without talking about the cradle of civilization, which would have been the Middle East. This was cities of gold. You know, you had princesses. So early on, you had that dynamic where the man went out and made the bacon and you brought it home, and the woman she may have had servants. You know, in some cultures there were certain women that, you know, as we know, the queens and whatnot. So we start to get into America. Let's just fast forward a hell of a lot and get into America. Now when we're in America, we really realize there's a change in dynamic. This is, you know, women are saying, you know what, we're civilized now. I can do what you can do, Mike. Hey, you know what, Mike? You ain't doing it right. Let me take over this little fucking operation. You know, like I know, you know what? Let me, you know, so we're getting into this disagreement between men and women at that point. Really, I believe that's when it really sets in because we're starting to undo the assumed roles. It's just, look, there's nothing I hate more than a woman beater. There's just nothing that makes me, listen, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I will go out my way to correct that situation. And I do not care. So that's the assumed role is that women are, you know, need to be protected, right? But they do a lot of protecting and caregiving themselves. So we're in this culture where money really starts to become involved. When our grandparents were out there making that money, and then this is also in Europe, you know, I'm just talking about America, especially in America, because it's all I really know. So we create this dynamic of now, you notice, once you put men and women in the equal spectrum, you had much more competition for the money, and there's much more of an earning potential. Who is that really benefiting at the end of the day? Who do you think it's really benefiting? Now, you had a whole, in the 60s, 50s, 40s, you had a whole culture of women who were able to stay home. They were able to raise their family. They were able to, you know, spend time with their children. I can't speak. I'm not going to lie. I've been married. I don't think the sex was off the chain. You know, that's just one of those things that, you know, look, your woman's going to expect you to kind of grow up a little bit. You know, it's like, she married you. You know, you're not. She's not gonna every second of the day, you know, be waiting there just to, you know, you feel me? So I probably guess that's not really changed much. That's just a matter of, like, you know, that's the dog house. The man's in the dog house. He's not getting any. You know, he better go out there and clean the garage, or, you know, no shovel the fucking driveway or some shit. So where in the fuck really does the dynamic start to evolve between all men are this way, all women are this way, where does that come in? I'm of the opinion it really comes in to the price of living, the cost of living. Nothing pisses me off more than when some price goes up. Am I fucking lying? Like, dude, if I'm in the line and hell, it happened today. I hadn't gotten food. I have not bought takeout food for a year and a half. Gang, when I started this label, I was literally eating the same thing every fucking night because I was so lost in track of time. I had to make sure I just portioned out what I was going to get every day, stopped by that store, got that food. It was pizza, one whole pizza and one hungry man chicken dinner. It worked. It worked for about 6 or 7 months. And then people started to call me autistic because you're like, gang, that's that. And I'm like, well, great. That's fine. If I'm autistic, that's a gift, right? I'm not going, I believe it's just more of an ADD, multiple personality type thing. But, fuck what the doctor says. I bet he says sex. I bet the doctor says sex. So, what do you think it is? What is it about your woman or your man that really just gets on your nerves that you just kind of, well, you know what? Susie did that same thing. Is it at the end of the day, most of us don't want to be the culprit? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. My life with women, I'm pretty good at just knowing that I fucked up. I'm gonna be honest. Like for a long time, I just drank all the time. I just didn't come home some nights. I mean, that would piss anybody off. But I mean, I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't want to go. I just didn't come home. It wasn't like I was cheating. I just wasn't the life for me. Like building this whole. It just sucked. I mean, that's crazy? But you had to find that out the hard way. Like I spent my whole life with women. And the first year I actually was quote unquote single, I got on the radio with a goddamn cell phone. I mean, who would have thought? But would I rather be married other than all the things that yes, I would have rather saved my marriage and still be happily married to this day rather than gone the direction that I went. So, I mean, I don't, unless there's some sort of, something bad's happening to one or the other, I think then okay, it's safe to say they're better off. I mean, I'm sure she was lonely, but I mean, I made it home eventually. I remember she would have this food. It was just so damn good. I'd get home just like plastered and I'd fucking be eating that food like in a coma, just like, chicken. She made this fucking chicken that was just to die for. Oops, did I say that? Yes, I said that because life and death is a real thing, Unfortunately, Smokey the dog, son, he went up to the sky. It was like the wings of Gideon, lifted him up to the heavens, and on his lap before he disappeared into the sky, he gave a thumbs up like the Terminator 2. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. God damn, it's okay. And we're also not going to listen. We're also not. I don't want to just not mention. Listen, because I'm not only Indian, Arab, but I'm also Jewish. So I'm not Jewish the religion. I'm of Jewish ancestors, Yiddish. So I don't want to. I'm never going to. We can say the Holocaust because listen, that happened. If I feel like if I don't say that word, then I'm denying the fact that it happened and we need to my ancestors were very, very serious about, nah, we're not going to bring that up because they wanted to move away from that terrible fucking experience. I understand. But, there's just, we say sex late night. We say sex late night. And I'm going to be doing this late night. I'm one of those people like I can just, I can ramble on, I'm going to do a little working. I'm working on the web page. We're doing promotions. Um, we're doing we're doing Dear John letters, which it's like a classified sort of thing. So if you have something you really want to say to someone on TikTok, you'll submit it and we'll post it on the website. And missed connections. I mean, I have, but the top of the reel, the heat that's coming is I've got an app that I'm about to. I've got some people working on it. I've got these techs working on my app, and this app is going to be fire. Now, it's not going to replace TikTok. I'm not going to. It's not. It's not going to be anything like TikTok. So we're no threat to TikTok. We're no threat to TikTok at all. We and they always want me to join the TikTok live shop and stuff like that, but I'm supposed to sell you weed eater string or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I've got to. I like TikTok, but I'm just not got a TikTok shop kind of guy. What can I say? So I believe any kind of time you criticize, you've got to realize. Criticize, then we realize. So for me, I really have become quite used to, quite numb of the fact that women tend to really see us all the same, unless there's a certain the metro type man. He's always the best friend, but we all know what she thinks of him. That's her confiding buddy, like advice to young men. It's just I don't believe that women are looking to have you agree with them. And never the biggest never discuss another man with a woman. But I mean, it's just there's just no never do that. If you're interested in that woman, I mean, I don't even. I mean, my mother didn't even talk about my dad. That's just you don't just people. You gotta keep a lot of things private. I see things. There's so many things just blasting their. Some woman, like I saw some guy. He posted a thing on TikTok, and it was a picture. There was feces, and the woman had left this in the bed, and from some smex. There we go. Some sex exploitation, something that was the other way around, and this event occurred, and he posts, and the poor girl's like, she's like, never call me again. It's like terrible. I thought, like, God, if that was my daughter, I'd feel so bad for her. I'd have to get that guy back. Like I'd have to go like flatten his tires or something. Like their justice would have to be served. Poor girl, and she's still like at the end, she's just like, bowing out gracefully. And that's the most beautiful thing about women. That's something I respect about women. The less they crash out, the more devastating it becomes. God, have you ever had a woman not crash out on you, and you're like, oh God, here it comes, and she just, oh man, doesn't that make you feel like God, like shit? Doesn't it just make you crazy? What up with you? How's life going? I hear the motorcycles in the background. America, they've cut those engines out. We don't have good motors anymore. They've turned everything into a freaking like economy car. Like no, there's no good motor sounds anymore. What's up with you, brother?
I am सफा परेशान अंग्रेजी।
So what do you think about these? What do you think about it?
शेष कौन जानता है भला यार, ये मैं किती आहे बा?
Are we cooking with gravy or are we cooking with grease? You know, I swear though, if men and women could get along, look at the issues in this world that we're getting. These men and women today, they have no stick to it. Oh, yeah, it's a cat. It's a cat. What's up? No, I don't think I've got the cat app. Yes, so you're on the line. You're on the line with the most infamous TikToker, the most hated. You know, it's not. I'm one of the worst. They say the people just they can't vibe with the EZR. But we don't, you know, we don't judge them. We love. We're just trying to bring back the culture. We're not trying to. What do you say? Disrupt people with this whole what they can say, what they can't say, rerouting language. I don't want to be that person who has to watch what he says. I'm 30 something. You know, I'm almost 40 years old. I don't watch what I say. I watch what I say, but I don't watch what I say. And in the meantime, so what are you guys doing out there with the? You ever listen to any music from from America? Any American music in your library? I gotta say that cat's pretty cool. The cat's pretty damn cool, and it's just me and the cat. Well, and you know what? What better? You know, on this subject, what better animal to have on the screen with us? The cat. We all know about the cat. Yeah, I have a couple cats myself. One which is he's permanently outside. He likes to come in, he gets his food, and then he's done. I've never seen a cat like this. He's not having it. You know, he doesn't want to be inside. And the dog, now the dogs bother him all the time. So on this show, we say sex. We are trying to get to the bottom. I was explaining earlier the history of how this all started, how the gender roles became, and we all know equal rights. We wanted equal rights. We got them. Now what? What say you, Cat? That cat reminds me of of my party days when I was Jesus, when I was that cat was tripping me out, man. I'll never forget, man, just partying up. Oh man, man. I'll never forget, man, just partying. Oh man, first time I went to college, I failed out. It was I met these beautiful women, and they were like everybody was doing these pizza mushrooms, and I was just there was so much natural light and natty ice, and I remember I was just hurling away in the bushes in front of the women's dorm, and I went back in there, and these two chicks that I was hanging out with, their hair was just like illuminating. Holy fuck, that fucking sex was the last thing I could fucking muster to think about. My mind was just in whew. so so I've always had a great respect for women. I like to say, see, they always say, "Oh, the guy that grows up without a father, he's at a disadvantage." Well, I mean, there were other men around. Obviously, we had a lot of wannabe fathers. A few of them that were, just. But then there was finally one that stuck, and it was just, I mean, it was okay. It was like when they replaced the Cosby Show, and you're just kind of like, God, what is this? Like it took a while to get used to, right? But no, nothing against stepfathers. I mean, hey, the stepfathers, I'm sure, are the first ones who say smicks. But God willing, God bless the men and women that try again, and they try to get it right. And we want to hear from them. But what is it? I've heard women just divorce men for no reason. I've heard men just divorce women for no reason. I'm not a cheater. I'm not a cheater. But like when the shoes are old and tattered and worn out and falling apart, that's why I'm not married. I got married once, and it was a complete disaster. But I feel like I got married for the right reasons. So I don't have that. I seriously, I forgot about my life. I no longer wanted all these possessions. I no longer wanted, I wanted to build a new life. I was good walking out of the house with just my clothes on, my wristwatch, I was just peachy. And unfortunately, separation during COVID, and it was just a terrible, we still can't, there's still a visa problem 6 years later. So it's still torn apart, but I got married for the right reasons. I really truly believe that. And like I said, even though a lot of good things have happened through this pain for me, I would definitely had rather stayed together, and worked it out. So I want to know why, what is it? You find this person that you love so much, you marry them. What is it between men and women that's tearing the country apart? I don't really think it has to do, I hear people say, oh, I'd only date this certain type of woman. I'd only date this certain type of man. These types of, they within their race, these sort of things. That to me, I can't believe it. I draw a blank. I'm thinking, really? Because to me, it's all about that inner connection, that heart and soul, brother. Like, God, I can't even say brother anymore. You hear that news about Hulk Hogan. Jesus, I heard he's a real piece of work. The Undertaker told all, sort of thing. Those guys were hella weird anyways. I remember that shit we were like pile driving each other, like our buddies, like I'll never forget that. The basketball court, pile drive this kid. Not, just everybody's having a good time, except the dude that was getting driven into the ground. But men, boys will be boys. Men, why are we creating this dynamic? Why are we letting society have the last thing that we had left? Why are we saying money is so important? Do you know Do you know that two heads are better than one? You're worried about money. What if you and such were two lost ships at sea? One had the water, one had the food. You know, you get what I'm saying? What if what if money's not really that important? Is it work? What do there's that does that factory worker, does he really go home and he just, I hope that dog knows better than to get in his way tonight because he's had a bad day. Oh, I mean, people do that kind of shit. So I mean, it's money. Money is they say it's the root of all evil. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, TikTok seems to think it's the word sex. So we say sex late night. That's the show. And speaking of sex, what about that case, that assault in the dressing room back in the 90s? Mr. T.R. Humpty Dumpty, do you know what he said about the Diddy trial? Do you know what he says about the Diddy trial? He says, "Oh, I'm not following that. I don't follow that. I got it. I can't keep up with it." The man that watches 5 televisions at once. No room for the Diddy case. They were good buds for years. It's like all of a sudden the rich white guy, he's not running the show anymore. No, that was Diddy was, I don't really believe that. I don't believe that at all. I mean, look at Justin Bieber. I mean, maybe he's in on it. He seems to be doing pretty damn good. He's skateboarding, and what else is he's always coming up with these killer songs. Just saying. Who else? Everybody Diddy's worked with has gone on to like prosper. Can't say that about Trump, can we? Everybody who associates with that guy ends up on the chopping block. I'm not lying. They've got this guy. I mean, remember that like Darkwing Duck? He'd just jump into the air and like a rope would come out of nowhere, and he'd just like swing up to the ledge, and like the lightning strike comes down, and it like, and he like blows his little cape back and shit. Everything just comes to a perfect head. Kind of like a cold beer. That's what I always like. That was the hardest thing about going to a bar. The beer is just so damn good from the tap. I mean, you just one more. There's like another story, and it's like in your head. It's just the time of your life. But then you just like, if you looked at it from the outside, you're like just a bunch of people sitting around in a circle, acting dumb. Half the time just yelling over each other. So I mean that's what we call going out on the town, meeting people. Loose, gets you loose, baby. Hey, try a little of this. You got the Dahmer kind of dude, a little sprinkle of this, and next thing you know, you're in a freezer. So it has how many? I'd like to know. I'd love to know. Like, And I'm not, I know it's happened. I know it's happened. But how many relationships truly started in a bar and lasted a lifetime? I would say that's almost like, because if you can drink together and socialize together, like that is almost like the tell all. Like I bet you could go through anything together. I bet they're both honest as all fucking hell. So I've known a few of those. I've known a few of those couples, that you see them at the bar and they're just like, they're apart. They're just so cool together. Like they just got it figured out, and they got each other's back. Because I'm not a church going kind of person. I never liked. Sundays were like, I was like, God. And then I remember, well, they'd say, you can't wear jeans. You can't wear. It's like, what do you mean I can't wear? That's all I got, jeans. Oh man, like I never was a church going guy. So I know people meet at the church, but I don't know anything about that. I know there's a lot of people when you see somebody at church, when you see somebody at school, when they're at their best. They're low key trying to. You can come aboard and talk with us, man. But I just get on the panel if you can. I'll bring you up. But yeah, the double video. I'm just gonna say it. This is my show. This is my show. I'm looking for the late nighters that listen. We say sex, man. We don't. No, we don't. We're gonna cut you if you say anything racist or threatening or whatever. Like I'm not going to worry about my live. But when we say sex, if you're under 18, go get a fake. I'm just kidding. Go get it. Go get some sleep and wake up, and tomorrow's going to be the greatest day of your life. But for now, we're focused on the troubled adults that they just can't get it right. God damn it. We're afraid to say sex. We're worried about if we're gonna categorize who we love. I see a lot of that. A lot of that. Look, when I fall in love with somebody, I don't think about. Of course, every I come from a long line of players, so I just inherit this ability to feel, have a good feeling about a woman in her dignity. I don't ask a woman how many people she's been with. None of my business. I don't care. I'm looking at her as she is that day, right in front of me. I don't spend money on women. If a woman, lots of women ask me for money. Lots of women no. I didn't know. I'm not. If I gotta buy you, I'll just go find one that I don't have to buy, because I get by. You feel me? I get by. I don't worry about. There's one for the rich man, there's one for the poor man. Women are, why you notice these men that pay for women, they usually get cheated on. The money ain't enough, gang. The money ain't gonna do it. You might as well just go ahead and cut that out before the negative happens. But women are smart, man. They're not gonna say no to the money. But they're also not going to put up with a bum. You gotta take care of them. When you're serious. But it's like that old Jimmy Stewart film. This guy, they're riding along in this horse and carriage, and we're in the middle. This is like the Midwest during when my ancestors. Well, my ancestors were the Cherokee, so the Cherokee were, unfortunately, they were very peaceful. And they really they walked from North Carolina to Oklahoma. They really got it's just sick. But the Native Americans in the West, as we know, they probably had heard word they were not so friendly with they, and so they're an Indian country, and back then there was no there was no YT, there was no whatever. If you were not Indian, if you didn't have a certain headdress or what, you were done. It didn't matter what was going on, because and can you blame them? No. I mean, they were lied to many times. So they're horse and carriage, man and woman. They're going to go out and start their new life. Well, here come a brigade of Native Americans, and they're charging. Now this guy, he gets off the carriage, he takes a horse, and he leaves poor girl, and he pretends like he's going to get help, but the poor woman is in that carriage, and she sees him for what he's yellow, he's a coward, and once she sees that, she starts to, they're at the campfire later that night, and she starts eyeing Jimmy Stewart. Now, Jimmy Stewart is, he was, he's a great actor, but I'm not saying that the man was not, he's kind of like a Ned Flanders sort of kind of cool guy. I don't know, and she starts looking at Jimmy Stewart like, if this guy's the man now, this guy's going to be my, just because she saw the weakness. Now that's pretty weak. You're not going to want to spend. You're not going to trust that. Once you lose that sort of trust, you're done. That's and these are things that that we're not teaching the youth anymore. It's not about what's right and what's wrong and what's acceptable. It's about survival. It's about raising our children to know how to protect themselves, right? I mean, I feel like that's a concept that should be obvious, but so many times, and I'm not, everybody's got a place in this world. That's a great thing. That's a great, fantastic thing. But do you allow your daughter to walk into a trap? Or, I mean, everybody knows you can't. You just can't demand things from young people. You've got to put it in their ear. Just if I were you, kind of thing. And they're often looking for that confirmation, because it's a natural response and when you perpetually deny natural, damn well what the natural response is, but you're going to sit there and reiterate some sort of we don't say sex around here, we say smacks. You're going to reiterate something you heard, and they're thinking, well, damn, my thought was wrong, I'm not right. Because this generation especially is very humble, very much impressed and proud of the generations that have came. I'm a millennial, so I'm half computer, half come home when the street lights came on, and most of the time, even when the street lights didn't come on, fuck, whatever. I'd just go out the window if I really wanted to. We talk about the whole, when they went to Afghanistan, boy, a lot of that shit came back. The world will forever remember the age of the pill. So a lot of that, I was a free thinking type of person, so I really got a lot of that. I had to believe my natural thought process, and I was lucky to get away from a lot of they just didn't really have anything shutting people down back then. Nobody was paying attention. They realized to corral everyone and start to control them with their, now everybody says, oh, you got to have this many, you can't have this many bodies, you can't have this many partners, You've got to be making money. Save yourself for marriage. These kind of things were the 50s. I mean, these were old thoughts. Yeah, these were thoughts that like my great grandparents had. If I were to tell my kid, if first of all, I mean, I'm not. That's none of my business once they're 18 years old. But if if I just can't imagine thinking some woman is useless after she's had however many men she's had. I mean, there's a higher number, but there's a number where you're thinking, oh God, maybe she's just, it's really not safe because, she's getting so, 100 and 200 men or something, something crazy. But I mean, 10? 10? And why even ask? But you've got these women, you've got society that are holding these women down for 10 bodies. That's crazy. That's and it's like, then you've got these men that are they're even getting on this only such and such, they only have it with a couple. And you know what you're doing to yourself? You're setting yourself up for failure and future rebellion. You're setting yourself up to be cheating at 40. I mean, these hormones and these instincts, they do not go away. That is why we are all still here, because you are born to have sex. You are born. That is your sole purpose, to keep the human race alive. You have the only thing that they noticed about the humans when they were studying these anthropologists and archaeologists, and they'd gone into these caves and there were these horses, they were stick figures, little horses, little stick figure men on horses, and then you had the hieroglyphics, you had the incredible whatever the Egyptians were on. I mean, the Egyptians, god damn, I mean, whatever they were smoking, Jesus, whatever the hell they were smoking. I'd like to try some of that. Whatever the hell some of that Egyptian grind. God, like cities of gold. I'm so jacked up I can fucking build the pyramids. Like, can you imagine what were the Egyptians on? Because we all have our vices, You can only imagine. What's up, man? Welcome into the live. We say sex, we're trying to get to the bottom of of society, of life, of men and women. I appreciate you offering me work earlier. I'm this record label. I'm just so got to get my artists out. I've got to get my artists out, but you seem like a cool guy. And my biggest thing with my last employer was he just never meant what he said. He didn't stand on his word. That's one thing that just gets me. I can't stand someone who doesn't stand on their word. Like they ought to be they ought to be sewing their lips together. Tongue extraction. But yes, I mean, yeah, we say sex late night. We're been talking about kind of I think the problem between men and women, the cost of living. I mean, nothing. You've got the equal rights, and you've got there's the competition's thick. I mean, especially you know, in the fields that women excel at. That I mean, I'd never had a chance to even get into that type of corporate world. But I mean, I hear they're a mean competitor. My cousin's a lawyer. She's you know, she's good at that. And the divorce rate, you know, how many people really enjoy their life? Do you ever really get over the marriage and what's the problem with society these days, you know? Like, why are we saying smex? I'm going to say sex. Like, I'm going to say sex. I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to say the words that, dude, you know what I mean? If it cost me my my live account, I've been banned over 40 times on here. Like, I had to call my public defender and ask him if I could use his name. Like, hey gang, could I just could I use your name on you know, to you know, tell him I got representation. Yeah, at least that's what I said. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy was good too. People give the public defenders, you know, you just got to ask. You got to really they get such a bad rap. But yeah, well, I got some music, man. Check this out if you don't mind. I'd like you to hear. I'd just like you to hear what I do. I got a new artist out, and I really think that he's got something going. Somebody actually said he sounds like Drake, which I don't listen to much Drake, but everybody says everybody's, you know, quotes him as a really great artist. So I thought, well, dang, you know, I gotta tell him that, because that's a pretty nice compliment. So, but you know, it's hard. I started with nothing on this label, and I had to pretty much do it all myself. So this is called what we named it. Oh well, here's actually a rap song. This is about this is me and him. This is about the young folks having to spend money for dating. So they're trying to break that chain. There you go.
Damn, I see y'all players acting like they gotta have banks, like they gotta get that diamond on their wrist. They can buy the girl a gold band. They say that they need a grant just to take her out to dinner, make her fucking feel right. I ain't give a fuck about how she feel, right? Pick her up in that ride, got the blunt burning. She say she cold, but I still turning. AC on, I ain't no team member with a name badge. I got that rack under my bed, reppin' that code red. EZR till I'm dead. She got that glamour, made $1 million with the camera. They be looking at her like goddamn. On the Instagram, she got that link. People pay us and they tell her what they think.
Castle understand, tell me if you understand. Stamina McCrane, you can see I will overgrand. Mouths with words on the cash, mobility and status. Find a way we pull out fast. Eight is for what's out to find a way we get a cap. We get a pedal and the watch you how we get a map. Bayonet is rank to check it where we stop the game. Never retain, stop for the money, now we blow the
Ain't no team member with a name badge. I got that rack under my bed, reppin' that code red. EZR till I'm dead.
word.
Gang test. Bless you.
This stone, time to all the full fade. This shop corners empty. Just me, I'm on this fake graphic. Walking around the surgery stand. Gang tap on the rap band to claim the forgotten land. Went crash on the bank, the slowly iron walls. Bring the laws of stand, violation of cause. No juries is stone that flow to the stand the ground. My galaxy echo, watch the empire drown. My power built with water, still coast all is back. Man, my father made the rhyme immune to the attack. He ain't a fairy tale, gravity code of demand. Last thing in the bitch was the mic of the land. Acid barracks, cold dread with my nigga with the bang. Word.
Ain't no team, never with the name badge. I got that rack under my bed. Reppin' that code red. EZR till I'm dead.
EZR till I'm dead. No set, quick bet. You can see what we're dropping to the trumpet set. Up in the game style, now I'm juggling seven. And what this nigga rap about the step with dead brotherland. I still understand, checking where we're standing from. Trying to get it from the mob, but yeah, we saying some strong with the money counting. I never lose a song. The nigga act about the funk. Niggas still we never stop it. And look the tracks, niggas steal from us. Gonna be the agent, nigga never give back cause. Profit is aim, never retain. Stack with the pain. I keep moving more forward no matter what I say. I'm gonna make it. Stack up and back break it. X about B-net, the same record.
Yeah, and that we're gonna release that. No, I get a couple more on that. Just getting it right. I'm not. I used to be in a hurry when I was. I've released music for over 25 years, but I used to have to rush it because I'd be like, oh my god, what if I die? And we say die too. I'm unalive. I'll low key like slip and say unalive. Like I'm like what? Like older folks that aren't on TikTok, like unalive. What are you talking about? So I mean we say and if I get banned, then I get banned. This it you know what? My mom died. I mean, unfortunately, that happened. Did she just say, I'm gonna quit smoking? Well, she did once she got the lung cancer, but for the years before, living on the edge, baby. And God rest her soul. It's so sad that the cancer medication she finally understood her drug addicted son, and I never put that on no one. See, I've kept my shit business. What I do is business, and I don't flood off into, I don't act a fool and that craziness. Like I just do my thing and I go about my day. So I'm not. But the point of this is we say sex, we talk about life. It's 18 or older, because, hey, what's up? What's up, Angela? How are you in the family doing? How's everything with your folks? And hopefully life is good. The new album's coming out. I just was playing some of that. Good to see you. I'm so glad you came by. I'm terrible at these lives. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna keep on trying it. I'm gonna do what I can. Yeah. You want to hear the new? You want to hear the new? You want to hear a new song unreleased? Back to school thing lately? Yeah. How old is your son? Is he? So he would be in kindergarten. Is 50% alive? Thank you so much. Whatever, there was a noise. Thank you for those roses. I appreciate you so much. I remember. We remember our kindergarten. Yeah, I remember preschool. Those were. I remember not being able to. I couldn't sleep. They're trying to make us take a nap. I remember that everybody just looking around at each other like, when's this going to end? Like, let's get back to the sandbox or whatever. Yeah, kindergarten. Oh man, I that's when I first realized I did not fit in. I'm sure he'll do way better than I did. I I used to that was when I learned to the karate hands. You know, you turn your action figures out of your hands because they'd set me in this desk and just by myself for hours. You know, and I remember I walked to kindergarten, which to me at the time it was normal, but it never, probably there's not many kids walking now. I've been live the past 2 nights. No, don't. You know what? I've done this for. Sometimes I've just gone on. I mean a whole year, but they a lot of me. I've been banned so many times. That's why I'm able to say all these un TikTok friendly words because they just have given up. But oh, I'm terrible. I'm terrible at this live. You're going to be way better than I am. I know for a fact. The I do want to keep. I am adding changes to what I'm doing in my life as far as I'm working on the website and trying to be more interactive. I've just been so busy with this label to get to believe in it, but I'm looking for. I'm gonna start doing a free beat challenge. I made this beat that's I can't. It's so hard to do anything with it. So I'm trying to do this for my artists and trying to build the label and just I'm up against some pretty tough players. But yeah, do not give up because I'm sure I'll come in as soon as you are. Send me a lot. Send me one of those live updates and. At least that way I know if I get it. I've got my notifications turned off, but I've actually my inbox has gotten so much better than it was at first. So many spam, there's so much spam. But there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things on here that people stalk and stuff. It's crazy. Like I've had the Soldier Boy impersonators, Kodak Black impersonators, Snoop Dogg impersonators, even but it's their second account, so I don't the Gunna 1000 definitely will. I've never done it either. I don't know what does it do. Why I've seen them done. Where people start tapping, that's probably really where I fail at the live is the lack of interaction. I just want to get people up on the stage to talk and to kind of, hey, welcome to the show, questionably. And by the time, like I said, by the time I say hello to them, I feel like they're gone. But see, then sometimes I see up here, it says 1, and then it'll say 10, it'll flash like 10 people in the live, so I don't know what the numbers are. I've never understood it. I know that my friend count has just now started to change. For a long time, a whole year, they wouldn't even allow me to have my music. So it's been crazy. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like there's no. Once a lot, I don't have my family anymore. My mother passed away and everything, so it's like it's just me. So there's nobody to really disappoint now. So I'm all in. I'm going to get this label out and just do it for the gusto and for me I've already it's gone well. It's been fun and I've just. I think my new artists are really going to be, well, I mean, see for yourself. I mean, this is a beautiful song. This is Bayonet. My beat.
So I'm on a trip.
Looking around, everything's alright. My friends keep telling me that I'm getting old. I need some more. I'm the one. You're the one.
So, we're just getting into some really, he's 39, I'm 38, but there's so many musicians that I've met in the underground. There's a revolution of just people who are really dedicated, seasoned musicians that they're always talking about bringing back the older folks. And I don't even think I don't even see myself as old, but I'm sure when I was, but see the people that were my age when I was 20 they were so old. They had just, they were old. I remember seeing their license and thinking like, God, he's 32? Like, I thought he was 50. It's, and then of course, you still got me rapping for the cause.
From the south side, when you let that mouth ride, get you outside, ride, ain't no hiding, you be riding that jet, got that shit gas, they don't expect, built this thing from the ground up, you gon' fuck around, you gon' fuck up, just here, you gon' find out that you gon' disappear, so many people like you gon' come here, they quit. Right before they ever begin, you think you're the one, you want in. Shout out to the city. I remember the game, I ain't never got my thing. Same. Can't change the past. You know that God don't last. If it go hella fast, I better give myself a big chance. Wristwatch, clock that shit in synchronicity. I don't need no publicity, no need for security. Watching me, my trigger make you be autistic, hypersensitive. I'ma be realistic, turn your ass into a statistic type shit.
And so basically, it's about, how the gang life, it's not the way, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm just making music, trying my best, and I think that no matter what, you should definitely stick with your live, because I swear they almost want that's what everybody goes through. I'll perpetually go through it. So let me be your inspiration. That, but I time limit myself. Something like at 3:00 I'm done. It's like they're busy arguing about life, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I want to have healthy conversations, so I've just got to stick with it. Got to stick with it. But if hey, come up and join if you want. Let's hear it. If you want to. The topic I was trying to hit on today was women and men. At some point or another, there was a understanding that seemed to had gotten lost in the process. Where now there's just I find a lot of women are asking the question, why are men this way, and so I wanted to try to get to what is it that is just we're all this, what is it about, if you could change one thing about the opposite sex, what would it be? But I definitely I find it hard. I can't really think of anything, but I know that some people would have some would have something. I made sure. See, in my relationships, I make sure very very well to make sure that he blames on me because it's very easy to take accountability. I've gotten quite good at just accepting the blame and it's the quickest way to solve a leaky pipe. You know. All right. Welcome, Angela, my first guest of the night.
Hi.
How are you?
This is the first time I've done this. I've never been a
Welcome,
guest before.
welcome
Sorry,
to the
my hair's all...
show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So introduce yourself, however you want. There's no line of what pronouns and all that or whatever you want to say. Introduce yourself and speak to the topic. And we can talk like adults. We say sex on this show.
Oh no. I'll be 46 on Sunday.
All right.
What is the topic? Music?
No, well, no. The topic is men and women, and if you could change one thing about the opposite sex, what would it be?
Well, a lot of guys lately, well, over the past few years, have just become sissified. I don't know. The gender roles are kind of getting...
I can see that.
But
Now, I've often thought about that. I've often thought about that is like I was speaking about that earlier. So you remember when we were growing up, probably our parents really, I'm sure I'm 38, so I remember many times where the adults were talking, they're just go out and play or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you had all these thoughts going through your mind, and nobody was there to really say that's right or that's wrong. I think a lot of times we're remember how impressionable we were. You want to know, is this the right way to think? Is this how I should react? And then you've got somebody saying no, that's not. You're supposed to act like this. And I do notice that too. A lot of men are concerned with what women wear and if they wear too much makeup or I never even thought about all that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of control that seems to and I believe that's from lack of confidence with women because we're training our young adults to be so afraid of the opposite sex. We can't even say sex, right? We're not even allowed. I mean, like I said,
or you'll be charged with like sexual harassment, or you'll get like a restraining order or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
No,
I remember
when we
one
grew
time
up, we went out and we did what we wanted to do. I didn't have any. My dad was in prison. My mom worked 2 jobs. So my 3 brothers and I, we just did whatever. We got in a lot of trouble, broke a lot of laws. We were juveniles though, but as we got older, we never really gotten any sort of clique or anything. We just kind of, did what we did.
you got it out of your system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too. It's like, well, we're underage, we're okay. Yeah.
Well, my brother's in prison now. He's 48, and he'll be in there for quite a long time with these recent charges. But he was alive when and when, even though there's only a year between him and I, he's a year older. He was influenced by my father so much that he just lived a life of crime just like my dad.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. That's unfortunately that was a lot of my issue as well. But I remember not seeing my dad for a long until I was like 6, and I went over to his. They put me on a plane. I'm flying across the country by myself at 6 years old, and that's when that GAC was really popular. That it was like Putty or something like that, and when I saw my dad, he's just like a movie star. I idolized him because he was I hadn't seen him. So I mean, me too, me too. And my mother kicks me out at 17 years old. So I mean, it kind of was all meant to happen in a weird way. That's a part of the reason I do this label, because I want to. I don't want people to be like the position I was in. I don't want somebody to get turned away from music. I got Sire Records. The guy that signed Madonna. I mean, his answering machine was in French. I heard it so many times. I finally stopped calling, but you know, you know what I'm saying? It was like you'd have to. I went and auditioned for Blind Melon after Shannon died, and I mean it was just so tough out there. The music. So I do my
Shannon
label.
Moon when he died. Oh my gosh.
I know, right? He did the cocaine or whatever that got him. God, he was so talented, though.
I know.
They all, weren't they? Do
He
you
was so
even see
beautiful.
those that kind of talent anymore?
No, mm-mm.
You don't. You don't. Because I mean, they were out living life. It's like
I mean, Ren, that artist Ren. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I've heard of him.
I
Yeah.
think he's really talented. Um, but
I mean, I
no.
don't listen to Drake. They love Drake, so I mean, Drake's my age. He's 38, but um, yeah, but yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of help. I mean, I feel like some of these, like you're never going to have another revolution of music. So may a society that it goes to society. Like the problem is people we're just so pent up. There's so much. I mean, dude, would you ever think that adults would be on a live not saying sex? That they'd watch their mouth about saying sex like that. You know what I'm saying? Can you believe that? I mean, you
That's
really,
crazy to me.
yeah, think of it, yeah, and put it in perspective.
Like a joke. Like, are they messing with us?
Yeah, serious.
Adults telling other adults not to say sex?
Yeah, well, they'll drop you down. They'll drop you down, and it's like I just can't. I mean, if somebody dies, and then they were saying you can't say the Holocaust, and it's like, well, I'm not going to deny that the Holocaust happened. That happened. It's like
They try to erase and change history. And, yeah, that's crazy that they do that. And sometimes it's actually, they succeed in changing the narrative or making it not making it seem not as bad as it really was. I think you have to go there, to Auschwitz and see all the shoes and
yeah,
to get a real feel of the
I
reality of it.
it terrifies me to go to think about going to that. Like, yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, they made lampshades out of. I mean, that the impossible that just but a lot of the Jewish, so my ancestors they were Prager, which was Yiddish, and they I believe just tried to forget it happened. A lot of people just got out of there that could, and I believe they wouldn't even want the New York Times to bring it up because they didn't want to carry that with them, which I always thought was so. And then here they own Hollywood. Now it's
Hmm.
uh,
And I
I,
think if they survived it, they have a right to say, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore."
right.
That's cool, but they're the only ones. People who didn't experience it and weren't in war and didn't lose family members, didn't lose everything that was, you know,
But what remember, what were they doing in the 30s? Remember, they burned the books. They started erasing the language.
they were trying to erase the Bible.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Hitler wanted to write a new Bible, his own Bible. They wanted to burn all the Bibles.
And that's when Jesus became white, like in the 20s or something. Like that was Jesus. They had him the new reamped, and that to me is just like, people get so caught up on everybody coming from a certain. It's no secret that we've had 3 or 4 supercontinents. So it's, who knows where Africa was once. It's got the same mountain range that we've got in Appalachia. So who knows
I
where
mean,
the
anybody that
plates
reads the
were.
Bible knows Jesus wasn't white. The true Bible readers and the true religious people, they know Jesus wasn't white.
Right? Yeah. He was. And the thing is, in the Revelations, it does say that he was going to rescue the Jewish people, because I mean he was Jewish himself.
Yep.
Just because the Romans turned on him, I don't think.
I think Rome is the Vatican. I don't think Rome fell. I think Rome is the Vatican, and that's my little deep dive there.
That's yeah. It didn't. It just it reformed.
Yeah, the church took it over.
Yeah, because at the time Rome used to have the bathhouses where they were practicing all sorts of fornication and whatnot. So I mean, the church very well probably did. That's a good point.
I know they did. I know, because where could they have gone? They didn't just fall. They didn't disappear. They were paid out and to say they fell, and just the Vatican, the church took over, and that's why the Vatican has more information underground than, oh my God,
Yeah,
every other place in the entire world combined. They know more than, they have so much knowledge there. Things that they don't want people to know about.
yeah. And the tunnel systems. Yeah, we've got tunnel systems all over America. There's a tunnel under the White House, which blows my mind that during the September 6th, why didn't they use the tunnel?
Well, see, the one tunnel system for the vice president, it comes up by the strangest place, but I don't think the vice president was there during that time. But the cabinet members could have definitely taken one of those tunnels and come out. One of the tunnels comes out right down the street from a strip club, and from there they could get out anywhere. But I've seen Gore, I think, come out there because my boyfriend at the time worked at a ceiling fan place, and we saw him come out up through the tunnel there. But the president and vice president, they weren't there that day.
No, I think they said Pence was there. He because they kept on saying he had to stay, and he was very worried, and the president was.
They locked him in the basement in like the Situation Room.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't. I'm not. I know. Remember, prior to that, you had the 2020 situation where you had all sorts of like crimes being committed. Remember that? And how many people they pretty much had taken Seattle by storm. And that seems to be, and those folks, they never were charged. You had people in Denver that were stopping cars in traffic, never charged, but somehow, and I saw the January 6th videos, they looked like they were laughing. Like it didn't look, they weren't, you know what I mean? They were having fun. They were breaking stuff. Yeah, but it looked very fake. And every one of them got caught. I found that
It
very
was a
odd.
joke.
Found
It
that
was a
very odd.
joke. It was a running joke. Like, how on earth were all those men allowed access to you would think, the most impenetrable building in downtown DC?
Right. Yeah, and it's like the unimaginable. I mean, not in my wildest dreams would I ever think about going into I mean, who in their who does that? I mean, that's almost like they were told they could or something. Because I mean, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I have a friend whose ex-husband was one of the guys who was charged and pardoned, but they went down there as a joke, just to be there, just to like stand in unity with Donald Trump. And then I think one of the I don't know if it was the National Guardsmen or the Washington D.C. police. They just let him in the White House, and they were like, they couldn't believe it. That's why they were hopping around, screaming, cheering, jumping, because they were in there, and they didn't go there to go into the White House. They went there to peacefully protest.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all of a
So
sudden,
yeah.
they're let in a building that nobody gets to go into. They're giddy. They're just going at it.
Yeah.
Wanting to
Like
shit on
it's
Pelosi's
a
desk.
seven. Yeah. And that's what I thought too, because I I've seen a lot of. I used to watch movies all the time, big time movie connoisseur, and never. You know what? Every time you see, like, what's that? I don't know, one of those movies with Harrison Ford. Like where there's an attempt, and the Secret Service, they hold them down, and it's like, I remember, like, that Sinbad movie where he protect the first kid, and he's holding the kid down, and the kid, he's not
Mm-hmm.
letting him go. It's not, well. So there's an attempt. They haven't apprehended this guy, and then Trump gets up on the microphone and says, "God bless America," and then gets elected. And you're thinking, there's no way he beats the system and gets. I just was blown away by it all. I thought no way would they want, but then it hit me. I don't think Trump did not want to pull out of Afghanistan. I absolutely believe that was Biden's entire point, was to pull out of Afghanistan haphazardly, and he was the only one that could do it where the country would be like, okay, well, yeah, it's Biden, and then,
He's a dumbass.
right,
When my
yeah,
brother went to go find weapons of mass destruction, two of my brothers, they knew they weren't there. Their platoon, all of them, they knew there were no weapons of mass destruction. They were there to get their oil, and they would fill the the they would fill the warships with barrels of oil and just rob them of their oil. That's what my brother told me they did.
that
And
was what
anybody
they.
that stood in their way, they killed them. Children, anybody that came against them, they were forced to kill women and children. And
Wow.
they knew there were no weapons of mass destruction. It was like my
Yeah,
brother.
and people don't understand why that was so tough on the because there was no real threat. But they were exactly. It's unreal. But
And to this day, we pay off the living relatives of bin Laden and the people that we killed, millions and millions of dollars, I think, every month.
Wow.
We
Well,
send
yeah.
millions of dollars over there on U.S. ships, American money, to pay them off still.
Oh, I believe it. And then
Yep.
that was after that you had the crisis, the opioid crisis.
Heh.
But they were going to burn all those fields prior to the invasion. The president was going to get rid of all those fields, and next thing you know,
The
they're
poppy
producing.
fields.
Yeah, next thing you know, they're producing 96% of the world's supply in 2003.
I think they made it lucrative enough for the United States, and I think they came to an agreement not to burn the fields because there's always money and drugs, cocaine's used for a lot of different stuff here in the United States. But I think there's one supplier of all of the cocaine and medical grade cocaine and the cocaine that's used in Coca-Cola that they removed the part that gets you high. They removed that out of it, but
Right, medicinal. I mean, we
yeah.
have to have pain medication. I mean, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, I
If you're
really,
lucky enough, tramadol, those all they give now any days.
really, yeah, that's a sleep medication. Oh no, that's trazodone. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been letting.
tramadol is like the lowest, weakest opiate pain medication. It's like a Tylenol 3, I guess.
No, yeah, it's here now like so you think about. I want to try to relate this this whole attack on, like you say, you feel like men are sort of sissified, and thinking to the point of there's so much going on that the distraction has become music and celebrity and TikTok and nobody really is out there putting in the real life experiences
They've
anymore.
distracted us with the stuff going on in Gaza. They've distracted us with a bunch of bullshit that is pointless, and no matter how it ends, it's not going to have. It's not going to change anybody's day-to-day life because they're trying to keep you busy so you won't notice when the real change starts happening. I think like the whole thing with AI Atlas coming. Oh, it's coming here.
Oh yeah, the AI, it's incredible now. I mean,
It is.
it blows my mind.
Mine too, but it's coming.
Well,
Oh,
they're collecting all these lives. I mean, they're it's all saved, all the data. They have rappers, these people that submit their beats. I almost wonder sometimes, are they like are they contacted? And because I know one thing they can do. They can filter how many people make it into a room on TikTok. They most definitely can say, well, we're going to and of course it's all conspiracy. It's all Alex Jones. I mean, this is my way, mine and your ways of thinking. And they're never going to, the majority of people just, they don't believe it. They don't, and that's fine. But it's, which is good because in a way, it gives some protection to everyday rights.
yeah, they got states overturning Roe versus Wade. They have some states trying to put an end to same-sex marriage. They have all these laws that are changing. They're removing. They're taking funds from so many state-run services that help local people survive. They give them meals.
Women's health, like the abortion and all that. I've heard that's up for, they're constantly attacking our basic rights. And I, hey, like I've got a brother who he's a gay man. He won't even talk to me because I don't even know what he's mad about. But it's like I wish the best for anybody in this world that to have a life fulfilled. And I just hate that they're attacking people at the core, because how can you live when you feel like you're being attacked?
Yep, crazy.
It really is. It's and at the heart of it all, that's our money. And now the biggest issue I really think about a lot is this whole ICE thing. The fact that how many undocumented workers pay taxes? I know for a fact the people that worked at Shoney's, they were using like 4 and 5 people on one Social Security card. People that were passed away, so this 100-year-old guy's got 10 jobs, but they never collect their taxes back from the government. So that's like millions of dollars that their revenue that they're collecting, and that's just pocket money.
Yep.
So
They know that they're never going to give it back to them. They pay taxes knowing that that's just something they have to do to work here.
yeah,
And most of them think, yeah, eventually I'll become legal and that money will go towards my Social Security when I die here. But my ex-boyfriend, he lives in PG County, the DC area, right on the border where I'm from. He said Washington, D.C. looks like a war zone. He says there's military everywhere. It's crazy looking.
what's going on?
They brought in the National Guard to the big city to get crime under control, and it worked. Now they're sending them to Chicago, and the mayor there is like, no, we don't have to listen to him. Trump will make them listen. They went to someplace else, someplace in California, the National Guard.
Yeah,
Ripping up
I
homeless
didn't even know that.
encampments. Yep.
Yeah, it's illegal to be homeless here in Tennessee now. So, I mean, which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
I've been homeless before. It wasn't it wasn't that bad because there were places I could find that where other people were homeless. We were caravanning, sort of like, but I imagine now that it's illegal. They're separating. They're get out of here. There's too many people here. We're not trying to get caught, sort of thing. Which is, again, we're paying. Well, that's our money. So I just I would that's what I say. That was my biggest reasoning for the constant the need for money in relationships right now. The whole idea that you have to have money is because It's all people can think about. It's literally it's ruining the fabric of our society. And I mean, what do all communist countries have in common? Everybody's
I
the
don't think
same.
like normal women my age.
Huh?
I don't think like normal women my age.
Well, it's good. That's good. Well, what do you mean now? How do you mean?
I've never been married. I don't want to go on nice I don't want to go to nice fancy restaurants. I don't want gifts. I don't want to be spoiled. My whole life I just wanted to be happy, loved, have fun, and trusted, and to be able to trust the other person. And I did have that for a while. He died.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear
We were
that.
together for 12 years, and we have a daughter together. She's 15. He died in 2018,
Oh, that's
and
terrible.
yeah, it was bad. And then I have P.
Who's going to kindergarten?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I bet he, what it's like that nervous, you're half nervous, you're half like excited. I mean, I don't even remember. I just remember getting there and like thinking, oh no, oh no. They were so, I had ADD. I believe I was so hyperactive. I was born, I believe, addicted to the not the speed, So I came out with this just hyperactive. The first time I remember, they gave me that Ritalin, I was like 6. I remember that whole day. It's like I remember that entire day, and I always thought back to that, and I thought, I just remember being so disappointed that nobody seemed to like me. I remember. So it was a tough time. Kindergarten's such an awkward time, so
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sure
doing
you'll.
good. He's missed 3 days so far, and school just started on the 2nd.
I,
He's been sick. Hopefully, he's going in tomorrow.
oh
But
yeah,
his
I'm
sickness
sure.
has turned now into sneezing, a runny nose, and coughing. So I
Yeah,
got
because
him a
everybody's got.
bunch of cold medicine, tons of tissues, and hand sanitizer for school tomorrow. No more missing school. He's allowed to miss 10 days a year.
Is that all?
And
Is
he's already
that
missed 3.
their requirement? 10 days?
Well, that's what they don't want them to miss over 10 days.
Now, what do they do at 10 days? Is that juvenile sort of court thing, or?
Oh, I don't know. They will take parents to jail. They will take parents to court. They will remove kids from their parents. CPS will come and swoop in and take their kid.
Wow. And for how? I mean, for how long? I mean, what's the? Who's taking care of the
Until they get their
kids?
act together. I don't
That's
know what they do. I just
crazy.
know they do too much in the state. CPS is just in too many people's business. They're not helping the people that need help. They don't give you the resources to thrive. They want you to do all these things, but they don't tell you how to do them. You have to live in fear of CPS if you have a child, especially when that child is in school. And West Virginia is the worst state. The federal government had to take over the division of Child Family Services. So the CPS is supposed to be run by the federal government. It's not. It's still run by the same people because there have been so many lawsuits. They've dropped the ball on so many innocent kids. It's just ridiculous. They take kids that don't need to be taken.
I've heard,
And
yeah, I've heard that anybody could call and make some sort of wild claim, and the CPS has to act. It doesn't make any sense.
it's crazy.
They're so worried. They're so worried about that's what just they're so worried about our lives. To me, it's just
When I grew up,
unreal.
there was no CPS. If there was a CPS when I was growing up, we wouldn't have stayed with my mother.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
No.
I remember they were laughing at me. My mother worked at the CPS. She actually had to stop doing it because she said she'd go to these kids' houses, and she said, there was one particular incident where the dirt floors, and there was two Dobermans, and they were just defecating all over the house, and the kids were living just covered. She said there was nothing she could do about it. I mean, imagine that. That was 30 years ago. So I I get but above and beyond what they're doing now is just insane.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's and it all, like I said, it all has to do with. I didn't for a second. I thought, you know what, Trump's going to come back. I don't know how or why I thought that. I just by God, sure enough, he comes back, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the last guy that this country, even though people, there's a lot of people that liked him. All I saw when he was and he's much more quiet this time. There's a lot less fighting going on. Because really truly he was a Democrat to begin with, and so there was much more of a quiet transit. You know what I'm saying? But like, it just, there was just all the things that were happening. It just didn't make sense, and that's when I said, I got to wake up. I was watching news, and I'm thinking, this is not real. It's just not. It just can't be real. And yeah, I have the luxury of just turning up the TV, but with a kid, I can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just tune out the world. You've got a child, so that's
Yeah.
just that's something I'm definitely gonna take away from this live, because tonight is that aspect of the children, because they're innocent. So what do you think? What was the was your father, or was he military, or what led your two brothers to, thank God they did, serve, and that's quite honorable.
I have three brothers. My two younger brothers served. They're just a year and 3 years between us. My two younger brothers. My older brother, he was locked up and sent to prison when he was 17. The sentence that judge originally gave him was 46 to 90 years. He served about 8 years. He got out. He did really good. He started his own construction business. And then he started doing drugs, pills, Adderall,
Is this around
cocaine.
2003 sort of thing?
Hmm?
Was this, so this was probably around 2004 or 5, that when,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. And then about 2017, he was living at this woman's house who had a daughter who was about 14 years old. And he started having sex with her, knocked her up, was begging me to go to the eye doctor and get an abortion pill. Wouldn't leave me alone about it. He was having sex with her all over, everywhere. She lived with her mom still, so he had been having sex with the mom. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know. Somebody got jealous, but he's been locked up in prison on felony rape charges.
Oh God.
Um,
My cousin, he was 14 years old, and the girl that the neighbor girl, and she was 12. She was 12. He was 14, and he's still in prison. And
what?
that's been 10 years, 10,
That is
10 to
so
15 years
wrong.
ago.
14 and 12. Oh my gosh, that is so wrong. 2 years
Yeah, yeah,
at that age.
yeah. He's still because he just can't. he can't. Every time he gets off on probation, he messes up again, and it's just taken his entire life because her daughter was like the daughter was the father was a like a U.S. Marshal or something. So it's just it's crazy. So I mean, you just never know the situation when you've got, you know what I'm saying. To me,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. And then you know what, they have the people that attack children, literal children. They let them out.
Yeah. They go after people who hurt animals and do all kinds of crazy stuff to animals. Beat animals,
Well,
have sex with animals,
now
do all
that
kinds
I'm
of
glad they get rid of those types of people because um, there was a rumor going around about a neighbor around here that was abusing a dog, and my friend just goes and he rescued this dog, and this guy, it was like so that was like what in the, I never met the guy, but everybody just was talking about him, like, you know what I'm saying? This rumor was going around about this guy, and it's like, what, why, you know what I'm saying? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
did, it just, it was blew your mind that rumor would even go around. Like, somebody would have had to go take care of this guy.
For real, who would do something like that with an animal?
Well,
A
to be
helpless,
honest, to be
teeny little
honest, they
animal.
had Christopher Columbus with a sheep. A lot, most they, now this is information that they have buried in the, but it used to be common knowledge on the internet that most STDs began with from animal to human contact. That was the different, that's, and
That's
that's
just wild.
yeah, syphilis. That's how Christopher Columbus had syphilis.
Yeah. There's so much horrible stuff going on to kids in the news lately. I
I know,
mean,
it's sick.
it is sick. I don't know how people do it. Especially their own kids, their own daughters, killing your daughter, your infant baby, because you couldn't control yourself and it killed her. Or, killing your kid and putting him in a barrel and putting him by the water. Or, you know, that guy that he shook his first daughter into a vegetative state for her whole life. And then the boy that when they still haven't found his body, he looked normal. I think they shook him into like a state. They shook him. They shook him retarded. They made him retarded by the way they were shaking him. That's
Yeah,
the
that's,
only
I
way I can
mean,
put it.
their little bodies. They can't even, like, they can't even lay on their stomach. As a child, you're not even supposed to sleep with the kid in your arms on the couch. They're so sensitive, and I think to myself, like, that is that is the very thing that is supposed to be the best moment of your life. Um, your child being, your little baby, and it's like the people that get rewarded with these kind of things. It's like they don't even deserve it.
Why? You see people struggling to have a baby, struggling to carry a baby, struggling to get pregnant, who would die, who would give anything to have a baby. And then we have these women out here who have these babies and they can't deal with it because it's too stressful, it's too much, and they end up, um, you know, giving the baby all kinds of disabilities and, you know, causing horrible, horrible injuries that don't ever come out of. And
So one of
it's
the things
just
about that attack on Israel that was so sad,
like
and that,
cutting the
that
baby's heads off
yeah,
in the
or out
cribs.
of the womb of the woman, and I thought to
Oh,
myself,
yeah.
like, what and how do you do that to somebody? You know what I mean? Like, that's just, that's
Yep.
terrible. And but the world is so, that's the thing. The world is so raw and so real that that we're almost in first world countries, we're almost blessed to be more concerned, just to be so mind bottled with race differences, and that's the biggest concern, of the day.
Yep.
It's terrible. So
Uh-oh.
that's almost the thing. Like, I believe I've said it before that we're in a post technological realm of thinking. So we've gone as far as we can go. Now they've made it so that we're not really inventors anymore. You don't really. When's the last time the neighbor kid came out of the garage with like a new invention? He's come out with you've got the creators. They don't even you don't even know what are they going to do when they do blow up. So now that we're our minds are being turned to mush, almost like with this social media. And so my theory is that once they've
Uh-oh.
the incentive to become doctors and lawyers, and the world's getting turned away with AI, and I mean, you're more and more you're just cut out of a job. I think that's when they'll pull social media. Oh, I lost you. Well, with that, I am going to conclude the show, and I think we had a good one tonight. That was Angela, and very, very powerful discussion which we just had. And you rest assured that will be on the EZR website, and I hope you look into it. And we will pick up on the topic where we left off tomorrow. And may all of you, far and near, if not by the grace of the government and the glory of the current president sitting in office, may you have a wonderful rest of your evening and morning to come. Good night.